Hello YouTube, this is Tammy Pie and I'm back with another video. I happened to last night watch Mascha, Musings by Mascha, because it is my habit to do so. One of these days I'm going to get a really cool Marseille deck and you guys are going to be like, oh yeah, that was the one. I have ambiguity. I don't know if that is the one. And of course I have Marcella Robledo. That kind of is the one. Anyway, Mascha is doing a new project. Project/challenge. And I'm gonna jump into this. It's going to be a monthly thing, so it's hashtag deck of the month, but the greater purpose is a yearly thing. And the idea behind it is last year for Tarot Trumps, Top Tarot Trumps, we all started keeping better track of the decks we were using and all that. And so hashtag deck of the year 2025, the project, the idea, the challenge is to do a video a month. And many people already do this. Many YouTubers already do this. I do not. So this will be a challenge for me. And that is at the end of the month to look at the decks, the books, what you've gotten in, what you've used the most, and what other divination projects or plans or just things that you're doing. So that's cool. That works. And I might even do like a little bit of next month. I'm thinking next month I'm getting next month, and I think that these are, in general, popular videos with the tarot tubers. So, I mean, hopefully, I don't like spend a whole lot of time saying, please subscribe and all that, because I understand that my collection is a little niche. It's a little weird. It's a little eclectic. It tends to be older decks, many of which are already out of print. And so sometimes people don't even want to watch that because it makes you feel like, oh my God, I got to go out and find something that's going to cost me hundreds of dollars, which you don't. And the reason I do it is because I wanted to see more videos like that. So maybe if I'm doing a monthly wrap-up video, my subscriber count will go up and more people will see those videos that I think are important and interesting. Maybe not, and that's fine too. But I do enjoy the community with Mascha, who is a truly lovely, kind human being, who shares a ton of really great information. And I know under the video I saw Liz from West Star Healing and probably a couple other people who were involved in Top Tarot Trumps saying, yeah, I'll try and do that, or yeah, I already do that, so we can put the hashtag on it. So I kind of tried to make a little map of how I'm going to do these so that every month, at the end of the month, it's kind of the same idea of a video you can look forward to, hopefully. And then I'll put them in a playlist, the way I did with Top Tarot Trumps, so you can go back and look at them if you're looking at this in 2032, if YouTube still exists. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. It really is a useful platform, so I hope it does. All right, so just to start out, January, people. Oh man, I guess my main focus of January was to not look at the news. I am still, a lot of my people on Instagram and YouTube are still upset, still freaking out. And so some of my squares were filled with, oh my God, and look what he did now, and Jesus, what's going to happen to us? And I have told myself that for my own mental health, I cannot look. I can't look. I have my people, and some of them are on the other side. And I need to pay attention to my family, to my granddaughter, to my kids, and to my life. And I can't deal with the bigger picture right now. So every once in a while, I might have something snarky in the back of one of my videos, or something that particularly lands in one of my Instagram posts, but wow, yeah. So I am just concentrating on little by little, those are my words for the year, little by little, getting from one day to the next with my sense of humor intact, hopefully. One of the things, it's called hashtag Deck of the Month and hashtag Deck of the Year 2025. So we're going to look at decks, and I love to look at decks, and I'll probably be looking at a couple of books. I'm not super book heavy. I have been reading my little Stephen King, I think it's Duma Keys. It's an old Stephen King book, but it's really good, and it's particularly good for me. And it does have a little bit of paranormal in it, so I'm digging that. And it's not hard reading. It's Stephen King, so it's pretty easy. I did 9 videos over the month of January, which is pretty good. And I think that's like a nice flow for me. If I have the chance, I'll be doing between 9 and 12 videos a month, maybe, hopefully, including this one. And it's interesting because a couple of those videos were videos I got a box of decks back in from my friend in New Mexico. And I said, if you want to see any of these, I'll be glad to do a little walkthrough. So a couple of those were requested, like, we want to see this deck. Those don't get very many views, do they? It's like a few people want to see it, and then that's it, nothing else. But that's fine. Like I said, does not really, whatever. Look if you want to look. Watch if you have time. If you don't, I'll see you in the next one. It's cool. So, one of the things we want to talk about in these videos is the decks we got. And because it was December's Christmas time, and so we're thinking gift giving, and particularly I'm thinking gifts for me, because I buy myself these things because nobody else thinks of it. My friend in Santa Fe, my very good, dearest friend, does send me decks. She's the one who sent me my first Thoth in the mail out of nowhere. And so she did send, one of these is one she sent me. One of them is a deck that I had ordered earlier, like last year, and it came to her because I forgot to change the address again, and she sent it forward. So a couple of these decks came in a box from her. One of my hauls was because there was a great sale happening. It was like a 20% off sale or something like that, and so I grabbed that. Even my Mr. Freeberg purchase, he was launching Tarot Siren, and so his Tarot Key by Mr. Freeberg's were 50% off because he was clearing out, so that's a whole yes. What else? What else did I get? Oh, and my TWU that I got from Anna, I got because I love Anna's channel, and she was talking about getting her van fixed up, and so she was selling some cool stuff, and I was just like, yeah, I gotta have that, especially because that is a deck. In fact, let's start with that. It's in the bag from La Panthera Studio. And I am going to say, don't get these bags. First of all, they're too small. So this trimmed mass market TWU is barely fits in here with a thing. Also, one of the ties came out. And even though I kind of like the feeling of this faux velvet, I don't love these. So this is, if you want to get a reading from Anna Astral Tarot, go for it. This is a little piece of Tarot Tube history, right? There are the backs. She has it edged in black. But Anna, I think her first video on Tarot Tube was showing this TWU, The Wild Unknown by Kim Krans, which she has added her own color to. So if you're not familiar with this deck, it comes mostly black and white. There's some color in it, a little bit of color, but most of this color was added by our friend Anna. For instance, the Fool. The Fool has these kind of sunset or sunrise colors. I guess it would be sunrise since it's the Fool, but it doesn't have, the chicken isn't covered and the branch isn't covered. So many of these cards had no color in them. And after Anna put that video up, a lot of people went, wow, I always thought I might want to do this too. So some people did it. I was one of those people that was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. I never did. I used to color in the guidebooks. I've colored in a couple of her books that I have, but I've never colored any of the cards, which is not exactly true because my oracles of hers, alchemy and archetypes, are very modded. But that's on the front of the cards and the sides of the card. I mean, that's mostly words and stuff and edging. It isn't this gorgeous rethinking. And she really, these colors are thoughtfully done. Okay? There are, like, the wandsy ones are warmer. This is very airy, right? The swordsy ones are kind of this gold color, right? And the cupsy ones are kind of watery blue. See the warm wands? And of course the pentacles usually have a little green in them. All right, if I go through every deck like this, we're in trouble. But you know, maybe you want to see an hour-long monthly video. I don't know. Let me know. Does that drive you crazy? Maybe not. Okay, so what else did I receive? Okay, for the sale, this is La Panthera, I believe, is the distributor of Rhythm and Soul and the Southern Gothic oracles, the Southern Gothic Oracle and the Southern Botanic. So this is Rhythm. And this is a musical tarot deck. I can't say it any clearer than that. Based on the, rhythm and soul music from the American South. And it is beautifully illustrated with paintings. Really connects to people who are into Americana, particularly if you have any ties to the South or any ties to music, honestly. Musicians love this deck. And Americana files love this deck. And if you love art, you love this deck. If you love tarot, you love this deck. It is a really nice reader. I haven't used it a whole lot, but what I have used it with, it's really good. And I've got it in this nice black Moonlit Fae. And then I took my larger Moonlit Fae, which has like this old Victorian, this is the kind of thing that you would have in the South. It's like these old Victorian things, china, even with the spider hanging off, the little glass curio that you keep in your cabinet. And I can even fit the two guidebooks in it, and I've just shuffled them together. I haven't edged them or anything. But the backs are different. So this is the Botanic and this is the Southern Gothic. But because it's the same artist and the cards are the same size, it's the same cardstock, why wouldn't I put these together? It's very much also the same world. And this one I've actually used more. This is really a really sweet set of oracles. I mean, great keywords, lots of different interesting plants, and like these are foods. So super relatable. I mean, pine can be a food if you want it to be. And it's these, I just really, I very much appreciate these oracles. I need to soap these too. I have to get like on the assembly line and soap some stuff. All right. And in that bunch, because it was a sale, and you know how you do with sales, you're like, okay, what else is there on this list that I really want? And this was one of them. This is the Earth and Bone Oracle by Syrian Shadow. And this is a mass market deck. You can still get it. It's not expensive, but it's a really, I don't know. It is not as spooky ooky as you would think. Earth really does kind of describe it well. There's a lot of bones in the illustrations, but it's actually kind of an emotional thing. It's got this pretty gilding too, which I didn't even know. I'm thrilled to have it. I know some people hate gilding. I don't hate it if it functions okay. But neat oracle. There are plenty of walkthroughs, I'm sure. If you want me to do a walkthrough of any of these decks, I'm happy to do it. Even though those videos don't get good views. I don't know why. Probably, but I'll tell you why. Probably because many of the decks that I get, I don't get right when they come out. I mean, every once in a while I do a FOMO thing because I'm pretty sure that deck is going to either sell out or not be available. But I don't run out and get things that I know are going to be around super quickly, right? Okay. So in my box from New Mexico, this was the deck that I was dying to have because I waited for like a year for this. When she first started showing the imagery for these are paintings. These are full size. Like this is a big painting. I believe she paints in acrylic. And of course, it's the printer going off. My daughter's printing some stuff. Okay. This is particularly beautiful. Look at that. Yeah. She sold like, she sells prints. So these are really, really neat. And I haven't used this a ton. I haven't paired it a ton. But I love the Desert Illuminations deck, and so I had to have it. And that's my Saint deck. Okay? What else do we have? The printer's just gonna keep going, right? Okay, so, and she happened to find this at a secondhand shop, since her mother has run the, well, not for the last few years, but her mother ran a secondhand bookshop called Book Mountain in Santa Fe, New Mexico, if you're familiar. When she sees secondhand stuff, she tends to send me a thing and say, should I get this? Yes, you should. Now, this wasn't even on my radar. I don't think I have ever even seen a walkthrough of this. Comes with like an instruction card. It's one of these boxes like the Outlaw Oracle with a kind of tippy top, which is fine, that works. Smith and Street Gifts. It's not an expensive deck, and it is still available on Etsy. Tinseltown Tarot. I edged this in bright pink because pink. I mean, sometimes you just need a little pink in your life, right? This is it's kind of a glamour deck. So it's giving 40s, 50s, maybe early 60s Hollywood. That looks like late 40s, early 50s to me. The cars are 50s, 60s cars. It's very diverse. There is a lot of people of global majority in here. It's got some nice, thick ladies in it. It is very sensuous, kind of bombshell, right? And it's just a fun deck, super fun. And I actually started using this over text with my friend. She would send me spread. She would pull the card, send me the spread, and say, "What does this mean?" And a lot of it is just, self-care. You need to relax, take a bath, maybe consider taking a vacation. Drinks with friends, go to a movie, take care of yourself. That's what I'm getting a lot from this great little deck, which I'm so grateful to have this, because I never would have even seen this. I swear I have never seen anyone use this besides myself. But since I've been posting them on Instagram, people have been like, yeah, I love that deck. I have that deck. Okay, so, and then, of course, my last little haul, where I went through this card by card, but this is Mildred Payne's Secret Pocket Oracle, which was out of stock in his main store. But I went to Patrick Valenza's Etsy shop and found it, and I was so stoked. I got the coloring book, which I started coloring like one thing in. I really want to use crayons on it. I should go get myself a big old box of crayons. And the Royal Mischief playing cards, which I also went through. Okay, so the other thing, it's 24 minutes, not too bad. The other thing that we want to do is talk about decks that I've used a bunch. Hang on just a second. Okay. And number 1 and 2 are the decks that have been in my purse. Because I don't have a car here, and I don't have a moped yet. I'm waiting for, I've a person that talked to my mom about getting hers fixed and selling it to me possibly. So I'm just kind of hanging out waiting for that, because, once you have it, then you gotta. Okay, so one of these is Nellie's deck. I got this on a pre-order, so I have the bag that goes with it with these. This is the knot that's in the strength card, because Kelly. And this works really well in Hawaii because Nellie is a lighthouse keeper. So this is a very ocean-centric deck. Okay, so I have these kind of separated, you can tell by the backs. And the reason for that is, this is the majors and the pages, okay? And this is all the Lenormand cards. So I was playing around with Lenormand with it, and this is the rest of them. So the rest of them have like cartomancy meanings on them. And I could put this together with my Lenormand and play solitaire because it's a whole card deck. And then I can put these in it, the trumps, and have an entire tarot deck. Or I can just read majors only, right? So, but I've been playing around with her Lenormand part of the deck because it's Kelly and she is a Lenormand reader. Of course they're going to be really good Lenormand cards, and they are. Okay? So that one got used a ton. And it always does. Honestly, it's in my purse. The colors, if you look really close at these cards, the color is starting to wipe off on them. But I don't care. I'm still going to use it. And I'm still going to riffle shuffle it. And, you know, if it starts to break down, maybe I'll get another copy. I don't know. The other one, my friend Coco gave me. And this is, I mean, wow. Look at these black and white photographs. This is a Sibylla. It's called La Photo Sibylla. If you go to Instagram, Joyful Fool, I believe, is the creator of this deck, and I think she's got her Make Playing Cards store in her header for her Instagram. But I didn't know I wanted to do Sibylla until I saw this deck. When I saw Coco playing with this deck, I was like, these photographs are so emotional. They're so conversational. You can see the lightness from that, right? The joy, the pensive thoughtfulness, right? So they're very easy to learn to read with. Now, they are in Italian. And like I always say, I have some high school Spanish, but I don't speak Italian. They do have the card associations on the top, but very small, so they're not intrusive. I don't really like when they have the whole big card thing here, because they got to make it big enough for you to see, but it always intrudes on the image to me. So this, to me, is the perfect Sibylla deck. And I've used it more than any of the other decks that I'm going to pull out here. I also, you know, all I got to do is start playing with these. And I want to play with them more. And this is Jamie Sawyer's Lenny Tiles. It's the bear. This is an early set. I've had this for years and years and years. And the child. But the most recent tile set that I got from her, same great quality, and you can tell, even though I've used these actually quite a lot. This is my most used Lenormand deck in my life, because it's so satisfying. It's so fun to do. And I have, not with me, but actually I think it might be in Santa Fe. Some of the stuff she hasn't sent me yet. I have the Lenormand Grand Tableau board, which made it real easy to study like the houses and the meanings of the cards. So, and this was actually a card deck as well. But I don't have that, unfortunately, because I think I would really enjoy the cards as well. But I love these tiles and I use them all the time. As soon as I start playing around with tiles, I want to take this out and play with it. And, you know, set out 3 or set out 5 or use it to enhance a tarot reading or pull out an oracle and throw some Lenormands on it. It just happens. That's just the way it is. I got 2 decks that had expansion packs. This is Mr. Freeburg. I haven't soaked this part of the deck yet, so I have not added this to make it a Minchiati. But ever since I started working with Rose Bay's deck, the Sistine, with all the extra cards, I just told myself, the hell with it. I'm gonna add all the extra cards. And this is in a Moonlit Fae bag. I got this one, I think I got this for something else. But I mean, it's dark because all those skull heads, and it's got this kind of gothic style to it, so I thought it really worked well with the Tarocchi of Mr. Freeburg. And also he has those really nice blues, and this the backs are kind of blue and gothic, very similar, right? So it's really easy to tell. With my Moonlit Fae bags, I'm gonna definitely do a complete Moonlit Fae bag video, whether you like it or not. I just want to do it. I'm getting I should get a new package from her, and maybe next week. So Tarocchi by Mr. Freeburg, right? It's so good. It's just enough, not too much. These illustrations are beautiful, and I thought scully faces on everything, that's not going to be fun, but it is. It's what that does is gives you bare bones of the people, right? None of these people look like someone, which has happened to me in a deck before, and I couldn't work with the deck, a favorite deck of many people, and I was like, not for me. I don't ever want to see that guy in my tarot. But really, really nice, really beautiful. Still available on his website. Please don't buy fakes. Buy from the guy or their. And of course, this one is soaked. This is the one I soaked in the soaping video, and it feels so good. So good. Soaping feels so good. If you haven't tried it yet, give it a shot. I do need to. There's like 2 or 3 decks that I want to soak. But it does take a little time and a little muscle, right? Okay, and the other one, of course, that I just did a pretty extensive walkthrough of was the Spacious Tarot, which again, and it's really nice, this box holds the booklet, not the booklet for the expansion pack, but I mean, do you need something for Earth? You know, the expansion has just those pretty, there are the zodiacal things and the elements, and a couple pretty easily identifiable ideas. But I did a whole walkthrough of this, and first impression, and I haven't used it much because I want to soap it. This is the deck. This one's getting soaked first. This is the first thing that I'm going to do as soon as I have time. January was the end of football season. This Sunday, today is Thursday. This Sunday is Super Bowl, which is very exciting. If you want to know, I'm for the Chiefs. And I was watching someone doing a tarot reading on who was going to win the Super Bowl. They said the Chiefs. The people who are like football betting people are saying the Eagles all the way. I do not agree. Okay, so TW Annie. I've already gone through that quite a bit. My Lenny tiles. Okay. These two decks are they're, I mean, if I had to call them soul decks, I could call these soul decks. So Thoth was my first deck. This is a nice oversized Moonlit Fae bag with this cool gold interior and the Eye of Horus. Hello. Okay, so this is an older greenie that I got off eBay. And Thoth is my deck. So if I'm comparing something, I'm comparing it to Thoth. If I'm, and it's one of those decks that you can study for a long, I mean, I guess RWS is too. I'm just getting into, I have a book on the Golden Dawn. Is it in here? It is. It's right up there. It's an older book. They have newer versions of it, but I'm getting into that. A lot of it is like magical initiation ceremonies, and it's a bunch of group stuff, which I'm probably not super interested in, but I feel like I should give that a little read. What I'm super interested in is the book T at the end, and there's even some geomancy work in there. Oh, isn't that so pretty? Oh my gosh. So Thoth is a big one. I'm also embarking on rereading the Book of Thoth, because the first time I went through it, I was like, what is this person saying? This is just craziness. So you get as much of the meaning out of it as you can, and you're just like, anyway. I'm going to try again now that I have a little more knowledge in my head to get behind it with. And then, of course, SKT, which, again, this is another deck that people get in their hands and they're like, oh, there's so much in this, I can't possibly read it until I've read that huge book. You don't have to. Not at all. This book reads easily right out of the box. It is basically a combination of Thoth and RWS, and it's got a little extra in it. So the more you use it, the more familiar you'll become with it. It gives great readings, life path meetings, work readings, romance readings, readings for your kid. Just, this deck reads so well, so well. All you gotta do is read with it. Okay, Thoth and SKT, Banksy. I always love Banksy. Right now, feeling rebellious towards the upper echelons brings Banksy to front of mind. So I have been using Banksy a bit. And Banksy just makes me feel better. It just does. Recently, I noticed that one of the mass market publishers came out with a Banksy oracle, which also uses his artwork. Probably would be great with this. I don't know. This is enough for me. This is my Banksy, and I'm very, again, you know, I've had it for a long time. Someone gave it to me or sold it to me. I don't remember which. Yeah, I think it was Jamie from New York. And then I have used Tinseltown a bit, because it makes me feel good. This is a self-love deck. And then I am in Hawaii, so I'm outdoors a lot. And This is probably the one I use the least of all these in this group. And this isn't even, this probably isn't all the decks I've used. I can tell you right now, there are more decks that I used, that I touched, that I played around with. I'm just showing you what I use the most, which is the whole idea of this, this challenge, right? So Gardens and Goblins, I'm sure I haven't done a walkthrough of this. This one was kind of, it's hard for me to connect to a little bit, but if I'm going outdoors, for some reason it's a good little it's a good little deck. It talks about plants and it's got all those little guys in there. So this is just an every once in a while deck for me, but I can see getting more and more attached to it. We'll see how the goblins work for me. So that's 10 decks that I've been using fairly regularly. Top of them is the Photo Sibylla for sure, which I am loving. I used Anna's TWU a bunch too. What else did I want to say? Next month. Okay, I do have some decks coming. Once again, I got hit with, we're going to have a 10% off sale. Even though 10% isn't much, it's still a sale. And so if it's a website that I know to be a good website run by good people, and I believe, who are the people? The people that sell the tarot ambiguities. I can't, it's super easy, but I can't pull it to mind just right this second. They sent me a coupon, 10% off. Yes, I'll take it. So I have a few decks coming, a couple are in place decks. I'm so excited. Oh my God. They're decks that I've had on my list like since they came out. So that's very exciting to me. And then Somnia is coming into my collection. I'm finally biting the bullet and doing Somnia. Since I got it from this secondary card seller, I don't think they have the book. I didn't really check to see if they had the book. I should have, because I kind of would like to have the book. And what's the other one? Oh, I got the Circe, Tarot of Circe. So that's coming. I don't think it'll come in February, but I also backed the new Welkin Oracle that goes with the Odyssean Tarot. And I got a couple other of his tarots with that. And let's see, what else is going on? Oh, I am definitely going to do the hashtag one deck for every zodiac sign. And a couple more things, we'll see. I want to do a video on a bunch of spreads. I've been kind of doing, I've been doing the February Tarot Challenge with Lion Hearts. And what ends up happening with that is I end up being on Instagram a little more and taking screenshots of all these tarot spreads. Also, if you watch Ethany's usually got a spread or 2 or 5 a month coming out. And so I'd like to do a whole video on just spreads that I want to try. So I'm going to do that. And what else? That's it. I think that's enough. 44 minutes. Yeah, that's plenty for a hashtag deck of the month. So I'm going to say my deck of the month is the Photo Sibylla. And thank you for coming.